What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So first off, I just want to say a huge thank you to all the amazing support I've been receiving lately. Your comments, likes and subscriptions, they mean the world to me and I really appreciate it. Today is going to be a special video. I'll be giving you a 3-month update on my Coldwater Biotope Aquarium. If you haven't seen the build video or even the planting video, make sure you go back and check those out. I'll link them in the description down below. So far, the tank has been thriving. You know, I haven't really received too many issues, which has been good. The only hiccup, I had a little bit of staghorn algae, but I've been tackling it by tweaking my CO2 levels. I've started using the inline diffuser. I've adjusted the timing a little bit, so it actually comes on 4 hours before the lights come on, and then it goes on before they go off. It's been working really well so far, so far so good. Since the planting video, I've made a few new additions. I've added some moss to the wood structures and a few merino moss balls to the substrate. The moss balls is a bit of a strange one. I know that you get them a lot of the times in the low-tech aquarium hobbyists, but you know, I thought it'd be a good addition, just adding them to the bottom of the substrate and giving a little bit of more of a natural underwater vibe, really. I've also added some super red, and I've actually taken it out. The reason being, I really thought, you know, going back to my old ways of actually adding so much colour to an aquarium, I thought, do you know what, I'm going to risk it, I'm going to put it inside this aquarium, but it really didn't match the theme at all, so I decided to keep things a little bit more subtle and just keep it green, you know. So we're going to carry out some maintenance today on this HARDSCAPE 90 centimetre aquarium. So I like to do one water change a week, probably 70-80% of the water. I used to be very on it last time, you know, doing 2 water changes a week with my last aquarium. But to be honest, I've kind of allowed this one to sort of do its thing. If there's a bit of algae, I'm not really too concerned, you know. But yeah, definitely 1 water change a week, and probably every 2 weeks I clean the pre-filters. So I'll be doing that today. I'll be showing you how I do that, and also disconnecting the CO2 and making sure everything's switched off before we carry out siphoning the water out manually. So I kind of want to do this video really because since posting my maintenance reels, you know, on Instagram, I've had a lot of sort of feedback, and a lot of people tend to comment and message me about sort of the maintenance side of things. It is quite excessive how much water I change in my aquarium once a week. You know, I do try and change the water at least once a week, probably 70-80%, but I'm going to use my filter hose here and do it manually. Sometimes when I'm feeling a bit lazy, I do actually use the pump and pump it down with the pump inside the aquarium out into my kitchen sink. But purpose of the video, I'm going to remove all the water, getting some of this debris that's on the substrate on the sand here, especially with the floating moss. You know, it is a nightmare. You know, you moss people, whoever's had moss in the aquarium will know how much of a pain in the backside moss is on the bottom of the sand. Especially as well having shrimp and other livestock that generally loves moving it around. But as you can see, I use the most thinnest layer possible ever on the bottom of the surface, because I love just keeping that real sort of low sense of gravity. You know, you can see a lot more at the back. It's kind of an illusion. Kind of just really shows you the sense of depth by you can use a lot less sand in the front, and a lot of the back seems a lot more full. So that's a little top tip there for you. Don't go mad with the sand at the front. There's no need. Obviously, if you have corridors and other sort of livestock and other fishes, then it makes sense, you know. But for me, I like keeping it really minimal and clean looking as most of the time as I can. So another top tip that I have, this is an algae scraper. This is actually an ADA version, quite expensive. I mean, you don't really need an ADA version to be doing sufficient enough maintenance. You can get your sort of the cheaper version, or even a cheap algae scraper. There's no need to be spending the extra money, but unfortunately I'm a bit of a consumer, you know. I love the finer things in life. So I wanted to spend £60 on something that just has a blade on the end of it. Crazy, I know, but that's me. But it will do the same job as any other cheap algae scraper, but it is fantastic to get into the tight gaps that you need to, especially when you've got hardscape and branches like I have. As you can see, it's still quite tricky. You can see me struggling a little bit there, but also across the back of the aquarium, it's a bloody nightmare. You know, you've got the manzanita wood at the back, and you'll see me in a second struggling to get into the back, but it does get the green dust algae off very nicely. Green dust algae is a product of too much light. But ultimately, if I was going to say to myself, do you know what, if the only algae that I ever had in my aquarium was green dust algae, I'd be very happy. It's definitely the easiest algae to remove, and it's not the end of the world, you know, just highlighting generally causes it. But yeah, as you can see, look at the back there with the branches. Sometimes it's nice to have an aquarium that you can sort of remove part of the hardscape to get to them tight gaps, but it does the job pretty nice, so I'm not too bothered. So my next favourite tool is the turkey baster. So I actually purchased this turkey baster off Amazon, relatively quite cheap, probably only about £10, maybe about €12. Yeah, it's fantastic for getting into sort of spaces. As you can see, I'm sort of using it underwater, getting all the debris out, any sort of fish waste, any leftover food, and even like, you know, dead plant matter. That kind of causes a lot of algae outbreaks, is generally the breakdown of any sort of dead plants and other things I've just mentioned. But what the whole purpose really of this is to use it underwater, go over any of the plants, any of the sort of areas where you feel like could be affected, and you'll see, you know, the change of colour in the water. So the whole idea really is to sort of pump it underwater, get all the debris up into the water column, and then carry out a water change. You know, a lot of people make mistake of just changing the water, but don't really get into them tight gaps. It's very important to get into the tight gaps to get any of the debris out, and you'll see, you know, really how bad the water colour changes and how much brown debris there is inside the aquarium. So my next step will be to clean the glass. It's not really a step, should I say. I mean, it's just something that I do during maintenance quite frequently, especially to see what I'm doing, and also just to get rid of them horrible hard water stains at the top. There's no real right or wrong way when you should clean the glass. A lot of people generally do the water change and then clean it at the end, but I like cleaning as I go along, because that way I know that any sort of debris that's on the glass already will just fall into the water column, and I'll get rid of it by siphoning the water out. So it makes more sense in my opinion that way. But great little sponge. This is from Denelay. It's a cleaninator sponge, and it works a treat. So my next step is to take out the aquascaping scissors and also do some trimming. I'm not going to go too mad with the trimming. To be honest, I kind of like it a little bit more overgrown, especially for the style that I'm trying to achieve. As you guys know, if you've watched the previous video, you'll know that I really wanted to create a sort of a cold water style biotope, you know. So I won't go too mad with trimming. I'm just going to trim some of the dead leaves off, and also a little bit of the staghorn that's, you know, as I mentioned previously. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it kind of a little bit overgrown, because that way I think it looks more natural. Let me know down in the comments or down below whether you like it. And yeah, I definitely really want to see your feedback at the end of the video. So I'm going to start cleaning the pre-filter. So this is an Wiojack Biomaster filter. This is a 600 spec. So this has a pre-filter in, which basically is the pre-filter sponges. So it's so easy to take out and just clean out. As you can see here now in the video, I'm actually cleaning the glass lily pipes as well. Like I mentioned before, I have run out of bleach. So normally I put these in a bowl of bleach for about 30 to 45 minutes and just allow them just to soak in bleach, give them a good thorough wash off before putting it back in the aquarium, of course. But this time around I'm using the good old fairy liquid, which is obviously for washing up plates and dishes and that sort of thing. But it doesn't do the best job. I mean, it's got them pretty cleaned, but there is still a little bit left in there. And annoyingly, as you can see, the hard water stains, as always. But managed to get them as good as I can, and I'm pretty happy. You know, I'm pretty happy with that. My next step is to remove the sand. As you can see, I've already removed a bit of the sand already. However, I've kind of got a little bit of a love-hate relationship with this one. Removing the sand is pretty easy. However, using the filter hose, especially when you've got sort of detailed gravel around the rock area and anywhere in the foreground, you better believe it, your hose is definitely going to be getting blocked. And you know, you could always just remove them manually by hand, but I just a little bit, not lazy, but I want to remove them as quick as I can, because you know, I'm probably a good half an hour, 45 minutes into a maintenance session here, and it's getting late and I want to crack on. So here comes my favourite part about doing the maintenance, is adding the sand. Nothing better, no better feeling than adding fresh new sand in the front of the foreground. I'm actually using the ADA La Plata. Recently I've been using the Wio Heaven sand, but ultimately they're both as good as each other. But you'll see, you know, at the end of the video, especially when I filled it back up, how amazing brand new sand looks. I'm not too sure whether I'm going to add the blue dye. I think I probably will, just to show you guys, you know, the different aspects of aquascaping. I got this idea of using the blue dye, as you guys well know, and I've mentioned many times before. I wanted to try and create a cold water environment, replicating what's in nature, especially in different blue lagoons and cold water streams across Northern America. So yeah, let me know, guys, what you think of the blue dye. Some people love it, some people hate it. Don't get me wrong, because of the Purigen inside my filter, it only lasts for about a day, day and a half. So it really is kind of an evening vibe for me. I like putting it in the evening and just sitting back and relaxing and watching the aquarium. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Please give me a like, give me a comment down below, subscribe. These videos are coming hopefully thick and fast, so I'm loving doing this. And yeah, let me know, guys, what video would you like to see next, whether it be a shop tour, whether it be another aquarium build. I have got a 60 centimetre aquarium which I'm going to be scaping hopefully soon in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. bye.